It's no wonder. I think some of the students were asking about the lecture for. I thought that I'd give it to some of the teaching assistants here. But we certainly will prepare for you. Okay, I'll resend. And today, I will spend about 40 minutes to share with you some of the experience I have. And then it's important to, right now you're sitting here, I can see many of you with a lot of potential. So I would like to share my experience with you and be an important researcher in the future. Okay? So first thing is what fascinates you, okay? I think we talk about some of these cell cycle signaling and some of the easier receptor signaling, receptor tyrosine signaling pathway. And I will give you an analogy that to see our cell as a universe. Indeed, it is such a tiny universe. And so many places need to be explored. So many places need to be investigated, okay? Even though our human body and every cell, we have about 30,000 genes there, okay? Do we know every one of them? No. Probably only about, I would say, if much we know now, probably 10 to 20% only. So that's a lot of things need to be done, okay? So I found it very fascinating. And then I hope you share the same inspiration as well. And then like I say, it's like a tiny universe. So if everything you look at it, the sky in the night, I don't know if you find anything. If you find the galaxy, you see some of the star there. There's how many stars are maybe 1,000 light years from us. We have no idea about it. And our cell, right next to you, just inside your body, just like that universe. We don't know much about it, okay? And I find it so fascinating, okay? And then so, we already know a little cell. This is just rough description about a cell organelle inside a cell. And we already know about cell nucleus, right? In the nucleolus there, but just inside the nucleus, as we know, the cell cycle regulation happening. There's so many molecules, okay, involved in the mitosis. There's so many 30,000 genes, as I said. Okay? So just this part is already so important, but we don't know much about it. Let alone the other part. Okay? There's a mitochondria. We talked about mitochondria the other days. We talked about some of the ribosome synthesis the other day, and then still so many things. And I think that if you look at the whole universe, we saw galaxy, we saw black hole. Okay, you saw nearby we have this solar system, but our human being, we only land on the moon, on Mars, the one that's close to us. We have no idea so far. Okay. But cell is the same thing. It's such a tiny universe, and then so much to learn. Okay. Sometimes I think every one of you, if you are learning biology, you should look at cell under a microscope. Okay. If you have chance, grab the opportunity, go find your colleague, your friends. Okay? If someone is doing research, tell them, could you show me how the cell looks like? Okay? If they are doing immunofluorescence, go to ask them, show me what's the fluorescent staining of a certain protein. You are studying what they look like. So you get a feeling about it. And then you get what is such a wonder of all these cell organization and all the different molecule function inside such a tiny cell. Okay? And one of the most important things is to be a scientist. You need to be inspired. Okay? And I would like to know whether you could be inspired. Okay? And inspired to be a good researcher, inspired to know what is all the different phenomena inside a cell. Okay? So I think it's a lot of challenge there. And the pictures say, yeah, we want to be inspired, and then we want to do the things that's almost impossible, okay? Or do the things that nobody known before, okay? It's such an important thing. And then every time I find out when to do research, I always be very excited because we are trying to unravel some of the important information nobody on this earth ever known before. Okay? And just that already get me inspired. Just that already get me excited. Okay? And I hope you share the same thing. Because you think about the things you're doing, probably the whole universe, you're the first one to know. Okay? So use that. Okay? Use that inspiration for yourself to be able to investigate the things that are not. Okay? And I think that's very important message. Okay? And then, what is a scientist? Okay? And then we know that scientists have been many years training. And then, like I said, it's a pioneer work. You will be the first one in the whole universe to know. Okay? You're doing cutting edge knowledge. Okay? And then you become a scholar. Okay? It's very professional. Okay? Professional training, meaning accumulating a lot of knowledge, be able to create it, innovative. Okay? And in many years of you do advanced study, you are taking new knowledge every day, and see based on this new knowledge, you could come up with new ideas. Okay? And then of course, it will come with it, your career path, you will follow it. Okay? And now you undergrad, you get a PhD degree, several years postdoc training, you may become a research scientist, professor in the university, a research investigator in a company, etc. You do contribution to the whole society. So that is a lot of things to hope for, to anticipate. Scientist's job, okay, this will allow you to reach the highest rank of your career path. Okay? And if you do well, some important position you could assume. We have the two cancer center, important cancer center. One is a Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center at the New York City. The previous president was Harold Varmus, who is a retrobiologist. He did research in many years at the early stages to define the oncogene. Okay? And then Craig Thompson, whom I had a chance, these two people I had a chance to meet when I was in certain meeting. Okay? Craig Thompson right now is the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center director. He worked on the cancer antigen metabolism. Okay? Our MD Anderson Cancer Center director or the president is Ron DePina. Okay? He's a very outstanding scientist as well. Work on a lot of telomerase, aging problem. Okay? Do a wonderful research, try to model the first bone metastasis model for prostate cancer. Okay? The prostate cancer, it's many years. The most important part is that it has bone metastasis. Okay? Prostate cancer only metastasizes to bone. Okay? And so many years we tried to know the mechanism. We still couldn't. We still have no idea why cancer cell, why prostate cancer cell metastasize to bone, but not to other organs, not to brain, not to liver, not to lung. Why? Only prostate cancer metastasize to bone. Once they metastasize to bone, it becomes a killer. Okay? So Dr. DePina has a mouse model he created, and then he spent like probably more than 5 or 6 years with this model, the mouse model that will be able to demonstrate that the prostate cancer indeed by certain genes capability was able to metastasize to bone. Okay. So that's quite achievable. And you can see the Harvard Medical School dean, Dr. Feeler, is also a very important scientist. So the scientist is really a challenging career, but if you do well, that bring you to a position that you will be able to contribute more by leading to cancer center here. These are all outstanding scientists. And some of you may have a certain contribution back to this country as well. You do well to lead the Cancer Institute here, to lead the cancer research here, to have a very similar contribution. And how to become a research scientist? How you get there? Okay. Research, okay, very important term. Read plus search. Okay, that means that you search many times to try to identify things. Try and error many times. You may try 5 or 6 times, or even 10 times, in order to get there, in order to validate your study. So it's very important to have a concept. Okay, don't be afraid about failure of the experiment. Because if you are afraid of failure, that's not research. Okay? The research by definition is read, search, again and again. Okay? So have that important concept. Okay? And biology, the cancer research part, is really practical. Okay? You need to work on the bench. And so that's the things you ask yourself. Okay? You like bench work? Okay, that's very important. Yeah, you know, if you hate a test tube and you don't like pipetting, forget it. This is not your profession. That's something you want to do. You should be learn not to love it. Okay? And then later on become part of it. Okay? And I always ask my students. One thing I judge them if they are good scientists or not. I will ask them, are you a good cook? Okay. Raise your hand. Everybody say you are a good cook. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see good. Okay. More than 20% of the people potentially are good scientists. For those of you who did not raise your hand yet, don't get frustrated at this moment. I'm sure because you probably didn't have a chance to try, right? So try it. When you go back home, ask your mom. Say, Mom, let me cook today. Okay? Yeah, see if she will let you try. Okay? And then, of course, you have to be well prepared, not just go there and try. Okay? At least look at what the dish look like. There's a ginger there, there's a garlic there, there's an oil, there's a salt, there's a spice you need to add, red pepper, chili pepper. Yeah, get everything ready. The ingredient is there. Give it a try. If you do well, you know you are a material scientist. Okay? If you couldn't do well, try several times. Don't get frustrated. Okay? So I encourage you to do that. Because if you want to really work on cancer research, work on a bench, that's something you need to have the passion. Okay? So I'm a good cook. I always say I'm a good cook. So if you want me to prepare dishes for you, I have no problem. Okay? Cooking is much easier than doing experiments. But if that's basic training, if you could be a good cook, you could be a good scientist. Okay? But you say yourself a good scientist and then you're a lousy cook, it's questionable. So learn to do something about it. Okay? And then one other thing is find out your role model, your peer, the people your senior, okay, who have gone through the past, okay. If they have done something like, they went when I studied like Dr. Lin Fan, like he's a graduate here, and then he's been through the path to become a good scientist. Ask those people to share some of their experience with you. Actually, later on, he's going to share some of his own personal experience with you. So you could always ask him. Okay? And look around your peer. Anybody's doing the similar thing, encourage each other. It's very important thing. Okay? So if you find that's a very inspirational, do it. I think it's very important. Okay? And I said the concept of being a scientist, you don't see it as a job. Okay? You really need to enjoy it. Okay? And then most important thing is that you got the opportunity to be a scientist. And it's very, very precious opportunity. Okay? It's extremely lucky. If you look around, every time I think about it, okay, how many percent of the whole population on this earth is scientists? Less than 0.1%, or even less. Okay? Could be less. Okay? We have what? 7 billion people on this earth. Okay? And how many are scientists? And you ask yourself, we have 88 million people in Vietnam. How many people are scientists? If you aspire to be one of them, aspire to be a good one. Think about all these. If you have the opportunity, you will be extremely lucky to have the opportunity to do research. Okay? And then I always think about to myself, we're very, very lucky we have the opportunity to know this gene, that gene, and nobody will ever have the opportunity to know. Okay? So think about that way. Put that as your important concept. And be a scientist. One of the things is that you should be very creative. And that creative is sometimes based on your experience, right? Based on your reading, based on your doing experiment here and there. And sometimes you come up with great idea. It's such a thing that brings so much joy. Okay? And I use the term here. Sometimes you got an idea, you start shouting, you start happy shouting in the shower. Okay? There's an English term called twist and shout. Okay? I don't know if everybody know this song. There's a song called Twist and Shout. The old age song, 1960. Go to check it out. You hear about that song, Twist and Shout. Okay? But the most important part is about shouting your idea. When you find it, I read it. Okay? Get the ideas. Okay? Curiosity. Curiosity is so important element to become a scientist. Okay? We are not good at everything, but we could learn to be good at it. Okay? You are not good at cooking, you could learn to be good at cooking. You are not good at diving, you could learn to be a good diver. Right? You are not a good driver, you could learn to be a good driver. Okay? You are not to be a car mechanic, you could learn to be a good car mechanic. Okay? You don't know how to fix your shower room, you could learn to be good at fixing a shower room. Our Dr. Yang here, he is so amazing. Okay? He fixed his own shower room. Okay? I don't know how many of you could do that. You put the basin in, you put all the water supply system there. It took a lot of work. But the reason, because you have a curiosity, you could learn how to make it happen. Maybe that at the beginning is not a good job. But because of curiosity, will bring you to the stage. Okay? So to be a scientist, an important element, you need to be curious. Curious about this, that, you heard about today, we talk about this particular gene. You're curious about it. Okay? We heard about Alzheimer's disease gene. You're curious about what's Alzheimer's about. Okay? You're curious about a certain medicine that may be a cure for cancer. That's show our curiosity. Go to find. We have opportunity. We do some study about it. So many opportunities there. The important thing, you need to have that curiosity. Okay? Always on your daily basis. You know, I learned to speak that good morning, right? Xin chào in Vietnamese, because I'm curious. I want to know how it could be said. Xin chào, right? Did I say it right? Okay. So the Gamon is the one thing I already learned already. Okay. I'm curious, so I try to find out. So use them as an important element. Okay? Be a good scientist. Okay? But certainly, this path is not an easy path. Okay? Being a scientist is not an easy path. And you should realize the reality as well. Okay? For me, I'm still in the past, during the past as well. You can see that. Okay? The cartoon show here. Okay? Most of the scientists regard a new streamlined peer review process as quite an improvement. Okay, this is about science. Okay? We need to get our paper accepted. Okay? We sometimes give the review comment gives such a challenging comment. Okay? They ask you to do this, do that. Almost you say you almost want to quit. Okay? You see all these guys. They are not easy. They are tough. And I was one of them for other people as well. Okay? But during this process, you improve. You do improve. This is for scientists like me, like Dr. Young. But for you as a graduate student, your committee may be there, like that. Right? They ask you to do this, do that. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Are you going to do it? Yeah, you need to bite the bullet and do it. Certainly, it's no easy path. So you need to know the reality. But only during this process do you improve yourself. You get so much out of it. You know, yes, now I know how to be a good scientist. Okay? So this is to share with you. It's a long process, but it's such a long process to make you strong. Very, very strong. And you improve it daily, every day. Okay? And then how you make it? Of course, like I said, you're curious all the time. You're curious about this gene. You're curious about mitosis. You're curious about the spindle fiber checkpoint. You're curious about all these different proteins. Why they stuck in the centromere? What do they do there? Okay. And then you already saw the cartoon, but I show you. Just look at the spindle fiber checkpoint. Many, many different kind of protein is there to help the process. Okay? Curious. Be curious all the time. Okay? Efficiency. When you do things, when you do study, you do things, you are spending a lot of time, you make your things be efficient in the science. Okay? Goal-oriented and determined. You should set your goal. Okay? If this is something you want to do, don't get sidetracked. Okay? You want to do cancer research? Make that goal happen. Okay? Be determined. And find a good mentor. Okay? And then encourage your colleague as well. Okay? It's important to have a mentor. I think I borrowed this from Dr. Yang's previous slide. So the mentor who really could teach you, okay? Who will give you some guidance, supervisor. Okay? And then be a good mentee as well. Do something back in return. You learn hard, learn well, and then when there's a next generation of a student coming, teach your junior. Share the effort. Okay? And then do research well. Work hard to pay back your mentor. This is a mutual process. We all need the new generation of young scientists to do good work. And then as a mentor, we try to give the mentee a good guidance, give the student good guidance, encourage them, give them the right concept. Because today, I think that today here, this particular lecture is extremely important because all the things in the previous 3 or 4 lectures, I just give it to you. Just, you can actually collect everywhere. But sometimes the important concept you need to be